if mountain ranges were frozen waves. Then, the wildest, most breathtaking swells on Earth would be in southwestern Xinjiang, in Kashgar, Hotan, and Kazilsu Kirgiz Autonomous Prefecture. Here, Mount Kashgar, the world's second highest peak, meets the Taklamakan Desert, the second largest shifting desert on the planet. Above the endless sands, thousands of snow-capped peaks twist together into a mountain knot. Among the peaks and valleys shaped by mountains and basins, people become part of the landscape. Clouds, ridges, rivers, and the tiny figures of people on the plateau all bring Xinjiang's grandeur into focus. These towering heights and vast desolation have created a stage for human history. From the moment people arrived, different cultures, arts, and ways of life have grown at the roof of the world in southwestern Xinjiang, living and evolving. They form civilizations and witness history. At the very heart of Eurasia, the Pamir Plateau is waiting for another dawn. The Pamir Plateau stretches across China, Afghanistan, and Tajikistan. It is known as the roof of the world. The Tian Shan Mountains, the Kunlun Mountains, the Karakoram, the Himalayas, and the Hindu Kush converge here. Here, for peaks soar past 8,000 meters. In ancient China, the Pamirs were called the Onion Range. Yaks, the ships of the plateau. In Han times, the Tajiks rode yaks and trekked through the mountains. The Tajik people are known as the Sun Tribe of the plateau. Yak Buzkashi is a traditional test of masculinity. At 4,000 meters above sea level, oxygen drops to 2/3 of lowland levels. In this thin air, they contend, they roar, they run. Only hearts tempered by the highlands for thousands of years could empower people in yaks to stand firm against the harsh wilderness and vie with it. The sheer height makes the Pamirs the roof of the world and the birthplace of rivers alike. The plateau is home to over 1,000 glaciers, making it one of the regions with the most mountain glaciers. In spring, glaciers melt into torrents, roaring into the canyon. Elevation shifts temperatures. With that shift, snowflakes give place to blooming apricot blossoms. Mountain valleys echo with the sound of shepherds' flutes. Like a hidden paradise lost in time, this village nestles deep in the cracks of the Pamirs. Its remote geography has preserved the most traditional ways of life and the most ancient customs. Tajiks carve eagle flutes from golden eagle wing bones. They dance to the sound of the flute, which is both art and a social ritual. Arms stretched, feet light, mimicking the flight of an eagle. As people dance together, they are fully immersed in the spring air. Cliffs loom just overhead. Above those cliffs are golden eagle nests. Adult golden eagles hardly face predation, but their chicks are protected by these high-altitude ledges. It is the male's job to bring food to the nest. With a wingspan over 2 meters and razor-sharp talons, he can even kill wild wolves. Today's lunch, a wild hare, is nearly as heavy as the chick itself. It helps the young learn the plateau's harshness. Where the Tian Shan and Kunlun mountains meet in the eastern Pamirs. Another group, living with golden eagles, rides across the river like time itself. The Kirgiz people are one of China's oldest ethnic groups. Over 2,000 years ago, records of the grand historian recorded their hunt with eagles. Training a raptor for hunting takes nerve, strength, and skill. During training, golden eagles wear hoods to lock in the scent and voice of their handlers. In a hunt, being more fierce than the eagles makes them learn loyalty and obedience. But the most important part of this bond is knowing when to let go. Once the eagles enter their prime, however sad, falconers will return them to the skies. The Kirgiz art of eagle training is a national intangible cultural heritage. At 4,500 meters above sea level, life on the plateau pushes species to the edge. Only those who could drive off wolves and tame powerful raptors can thrive in such desolate terrain. Pure mountains and sacred water have raised the humblest people and preserved nature at its most raw. In Akto County, Kizilsu Kirgiz Autonomous Prefecture, the mineral-rich red soil still holds traces of the Pamir's earliest days. Around 10,000 years ago, eruptions ceased. The Pamir Plateau, at about 7 centimeters per year, rose rapidly. Dozens of cone-shaped craters, formed by calcium carbonate, were left behind before the plateau rose. Forgotten by time, these craters are named the Eyes of the Pamirs. These natural eyes, with timeless wisdom, bear silent witness to constant changes. Vapor can form a rainbow that vanishes in seconds. But the same water can carve deep canyons and flow for ages. Transience and eternity are themes that run through history. Before the Kirgiz settled on the plateau, Xinjiang had left his footprints on these snow-capped peaks. It is said that when Xinjiang passed by, the lake's golden sands and limpid water sparked visions of dragons rising from the depths. 3,000 streams, countless white sands, such wonder beneath snowy peaks is not imagination. It is born of nature. Baisha Lake lies at the foot of Mount Mustaada. Less than 300 kilometers from here lies the meeting point of the Tian Shan and Kunlun Mountains. Running from north to south, the Sarakol Range splits the Pamirs into east and west. The eastern Pamirs lie in China. Kunlun's three titans, Mustaada, Kongertaf, and Kongertub, each rising above 7,000 meters, stand shoulder to shoulder on this land. Lakes brightly shine as peaks endure. The reflection and the real inspire people to seek something greater. Musta Ada reaches 7,546 meters. As the father of glaciers, its snowfields can be marked only by the flight of eagles. Human feet struggle to match the wings of an eagle. At 5,600 meters above sea level, people at Camp 1 are aiming at Musta Ada summit.
Honestly, next time we stop, I need to drink more hot water. I think the altitude's getting to me. Even talking is exhausting. I'm totally wiped out. Take a look. This is the trail to Camp 3. About 6,650 meters above sea level.
On the Pamir Plateau, the austerity forged by altitude compels every soul seeking to conquer it to bow in reverence. But once you push beyond those limits, a thriving, prosperous trade route will repay all the solitude, toil, and sacrifice. Kizilsu, Kashgar, and Hotan lie south of the Tian Shan Mountains, a region known as southern Xinjiang. The Pamir Plateau and the Taklamakan Desert form two of the most impassable barriers, making this region a natural fortress for Xinjiang and even Western China. However, once crossing these barriers, you will find one of the quickest routes to Central Asia and Europe. This duality shaped the unique history of Kizilsu, Kashgar, and Hotan. And at the heart of that history is the Silk Road. Sunlight brings the past to life. The stone city on the Pamirs has stood as a Silk Road gateway since the Tang Dynasty. Built by traditional Chinese methods, its core is rammed earth, reinforced with stone. Historically, the stone city's jurisdiction bordered Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. For thousands of years, caravans heading east and west began their rugged journeys here. The Pamir Plateau divides Central, South, and West Asia into separate regions. But hidden corridors of river valleys interconnect them with each other. Kashgar is where those routes converge. In Han times, General Ban Chao expanded westward from here. From that point on, Kashgar has become a major trade hub and logistics center on the Silk Road. For thousands of years, Kashgar has been like a graceful, welcoming mother, teaching different cultures to enjoy good food, appreciate art, and build wealth through trade instead of conflict. The four great civilizations meet here. This city has thrived through exchange and mutual understanding. Much of Kashgar's elegance comes from the Yarkand River. The Yarkand River is a main source of the Dariem River, China's longest inland river. Crossing the Karakoram, it nourishes green oases at the mountain's edge. These rivers and oases enabled the Silk Road to cross the vast deserts. They gave caravans energy and shaped the desert spirit. Mackett County, Kashgar, sits on the Taklamakan Desert's southwest edge. This oasis is one of the heartlands of the famous ballad Dolan Muqam. Dolan Muqam weaves ancient fishing and hunting gestures into its choreography. Beneath its raw rhythms are tenderness and emotion. Oh, fairy-like beauty, give me just one more glance. Please look my way. So I, your fool in love, may feel like a king. Love is one of Dolan Muqam's central themes. To some extent, its expressive songs and dances laid the foundation for Uyghur Muqam art in Xinjiang. As ethnic memory, Dolan Muqam has even become a motif of farmer painters in Mackett. The land shapes its people. The oasis gives rise not only to art, but to acrobatics.
Don't bend your knees yet. Okay. Stand straight first. Good. Get a firm grip. Look, hand it to her after she crosses.
Or maybe wait a moment.
Selimkin, press the end of the rope. Nice. Look how steady Ebabemu is. You're the only one bending your knees. I said feet together.
Yenjisar County, at the Kunlun Mountains base, is one of the primary homes of the Uyghur tightrope art Dawas. In the Han Dynasty, Zhang Heng recorded tightrope walking in his Rhapsody. Adalai Wuxer is a nationally recognized inheritor of Dawas. In the air over 200 meters high, Adalai is walking on a steel cable just 4 centimeters wide. Fear of heights is an instinct shaped by evolution. The Oasis artists push past that fear and walk the line between life and death. Extreme surroundings give rise to extreme feats. Perhaps that is the essence of this land's spirit. The Kunlun Mountains start from the Pamir Plateau. In Kaira County, Hotan, north of the Kunlun Mountains, the Banlang grassland, over 3,000 meters high, like a surprise, spreads across these rugged, stern ranges. Here, the Atlantic warm, moist air, like a gentle tongue, licks over 40,000 mu of hills into lush grassland, where softness meets harsh terrain. The rugged Kunlun Mountains seem magical. The Kunlun Mountains are sacred in Chinese culture. They are the cradle of many mythical figures, including Zhuangmu, Pangu, Niuhua, and Hou-Yi. Rooted in universal harmony, Kunlun culture shaped Chinese civilization. The Kunlun Mountains mark the divide between the Xinjiang and Pamir Plateaus. Stretching over 2,500 kilometers, their ridge links Xinjiang and Xinjiang into one vast geographical entity. Beyond their grandeur, legends of jade hidden deep in the mountains add mystery to these peaks. Rivers surge down from the Kunlun Mountains. The Urungkash River, or the White Jade River, together with the Black Jade River from the Karakoram, carves through granite ranges, carrying high-quality jade from the mountains to the valleys and shallows below. In the Xiaoshang period, jade from the Kunlun Mountains traveled the Jade Road from Xinjiang to Hemudu and Inshu, thousands of kilometers away. Today, top-grade Hatian jade pebbles can sell for nearly 200 million yuan. The White and Black Jade Rivers leave the Kunluns and merge into the Hotan River. With the force of a 1,000-meter descent, the Hotan River charges straight into China's largest desert, the Taklamakan Desert. For a river in the desert, depth matters less than breadth. While wrestling with moving dunes, the shallow riverbed spreads into thick, branching veins. Even when severed and blocked by sandbars, it leaves traces of life across the barren desert. Where the river disappears, the endless desert begins. Before the Pamir Plateau rose, this desert, nearly a third of southern Xinjiang, was once an alluvial plain. As the land pushed upward, millions of years of sediment settled beneath the snowy peaks, creating a 330,000 square kilometer sea of death. the desert lizard, in the Taklamakan Desert, faces desolation like the moon. By preying on insects for moisture, it survives extreme aridity. Like the Pamir Plateau, the Taklamakan Desert remains deeply remote and forbidding. Towering sand ridges and dunes stretching nearly 1,000 kilometers leave one in awe and fear. To live in such despair, roots must run deep. Mature poplar trees spread roots sideways, reaching 100 meters underground. Green brings hope. In 2024, with the completion of a shelter belt longer than the Beijing-Kowloon Railway, the Taklamakan Desert was fully enclosed by a protective green barrier.
Hello. We got this.
Following the green, the brave begin to challenge the desert. Such conquests started over 2,000 years ago. In the Han Dynasty, the Silk Road curved around the Taklamakan Desert. Even today, with modern machines, retracing that ancient route remains an extreme test. 4,500 kilometers long, up to 67.2 degrees Celsius on the ground. The route gives a real taste of the hardships Silk Road travelers once endured. When history and modernity meet across time in this way, we wonder, what did those who vanished into the desert truly bring to this desert? Coincidentally, in every golden age, rivers have pushed forward, deep into the heart of the desert. The Nia River rises from the Kunlun's northern slopes. In Han times, it flowed north, reaching hundreds of kilometers into the Taklamakan. The river nourished the Xinjiang kingdom. Xinjiang was a city-state under the Western region's protectorate. Clearing away centuries of sand, archaeologists uncovered remnants of vineyards, homes, and government buildings. From the ruins emerged brocades from Sichuan. On the brocade, the 5 planets are aligned in the eastern sky, symbolizing prosperity for China. Eastern 5 stars boost China contains the earliest known reference to China ever found in Xinjiang. In 2000, a young shepherd in the desert stumbled into what may be the smallest Buddhist temple. The south-facing Lotus Buddha statue is about 1,500 years old. Extreme dryness greatly shielded it from time. Its vivid colors draw us back to the spiritual world of those old days. over thousands of years. Trade, wealth, ideas, and beliefs flowed along the Silk Road, letting civilizations bloom in the most unexpected places. Deep in the desert, 100,000 roses from the smallest oasis in the Sand Sea. The Kunlun rose was a treasure of ancient Khotan. More than 2,000 years ago, these flowers, nourished by snowmelt, traveled with caravans to distant lands in West Asia and Europe. The traders took the scent. The colors remained. In spring, Uyghur courtyards in Khotan become drying grounds for Atlas silk. Silk farming and weaving techniques from the Central Plain help Khotan become a major textile hub along the Silk Road. Using plant dyes like saffron and pomegranate, white silk threads are tie-dyed and then woven into shimmering Atlas silk.
This part shows a ram's horn. The shapes on either side are inspired by girls' earrings. Together, they make up the full Atlas pattern.
Today, Atlas silk still adorns Uyghur women's scarves and dresses. In the past, as valuable as gold, it was a trusted currency that helped sustain many thriving Silk Road cities. The flourishing silk trade has let another Chinese treasure shine in the desert for long. Mulberry trees, the silk industry's foundation. Beyond nourishing silkworms, offer material for papermaking. In Tang times, Khotan's mulberry bark paper was used for official documents and Buddhist scriptures. In Song times, it preserved Sushi's calligraphy and was even used to print currency. This lightweight paper replaced heavy wooden and bamboo slips, speeding up the spread of knowledge. Thanks to it, a sea of documents, scriptures, and poetry could cross vast distances with ease, spreading from oasis to oasis. Oases turned the Silk Road from a narrow desert route into a sprawling network across the sands. Khotan was one of its key intersections. Today, Khotan locals, based on texts and archaeological finds, have rebuilt Yakin ancient city. Music and dance revive the Silk Road's glory. From the warring states to the northern Song, Khotan, this ancient Buddhist land, witnessed every rise and fall along the Silk Road. Centuries of layered history transform into a passion that transcends ages. Music from every land resounds in Khotan, echoes across millennia, and moves countless people. Even if the Silk Road has been buried by sand, its memory survives in the lives of those who still live in the oases. Deep in the desert, Dalyabayi is the most remote oasis. Isolated from the world, this oasis along the Korea River remained unknown to the world until the 1950s. The Korea Uyghurs are the only indigenous inhabitants. Perhaps because their blood still carries their ancestors' trading legacy. While herding, some of them cultivate a traditional Chinese herb, sistanch. October is the prime season for harvesting. To maximize their yield, local women move kitchens into the desert. Kamaki is a dish unique to the desert. For a starving caravan, wandering in lifeless sands, the sudden sight of smoke, the scent of lamb, and the aroma of flatbread would stir the body and lift the spirit. The Silk Road, after crossing the Taklamakan Desert, climbs on the Pamir Plateau again. Centuries of Silk Road traffic lend these highlands deeper resonance. The world's highest natural stone arch hides among the peaks. Shipton's Arch pierces the landscape and connects histories. Nature has shaped the plateau over millions of years, carrying its fragments into the desert. History has broken the barriers of plateau and desert, turning formidable divides into paths of connection. Barrier and passage. This is the story the Pamir Plateau tells. Nature's grandeur and history's glory and depth have forged a unique highland romance. Yalong, a national intangible cultural heritage, is the Kirgiz people's unique ceremonial singing art. It weaves wedding rituals together through poem recitation. Perhaps only they living with mountains could create such an art. Here, poetry lives outside of books, is sung with heartfelt passion, telling the stories of everyday life. Through these verses, the history of the highlands and the life of the plateau become the collective memory of the Kirgiz people. Deserts turned into lakes, lakes into fertile fields. Hills became valleys, snow peaks change their shape. But the tale of Manas lives on, passed from one generation to the next. This verse comes from the epic of Manas, the Kirgiz hero's story. As voices rise over the plateau, the epic rides the wind into the snowy peaks. Here, on this vast land, people glimpse a loftier existence and feel a more majestic eternity. In southwestern Xinjiang, deserts, mountains, and rivers compose a boundless grandeur. In this splendor, the Pamir Plateau rises in majesty, giving birth to all mountains and all rivers. Now, another group of climbers begins the journey to conquer the world's second highest peak. Amid this land, snow peaks, ice cliffs, and rivers roaring below make humans seem small. Yet, having endured peril to stand atop the extreme, the small human spirit becomes the highest peak.